Hello and welcome to the first Milestone screencast for our DevOps pipeline project. First we'll show the successful setup of our Ansible server using Vagrant and the Vagrant file. Running the Vagrant up command installs Ansible and its dependencies, as well as forwarding some environment variables we'll need later. We've also written commands in our Vagrant file to clone and install a Node.js program that we'll use momentarily. Next we'll show the execution of that Node.js program on our Ansible server, and this code is responsible for provisioning an EC2 instance and returning us the IP address and private key for Ansible. And as we could see on the last screen, we currently don't have any running AWS instances. And once that program is finished execution, we'll go back over to our AWS console, and as we can see in a moment, we do have a running instance, a new security group, Elastic IP, and key pair. For the final parts of our screencast, we'll show the configuration of our Jenkins server using an Ansible playbook, and we're running this from the same Ansible server we just ran the provisioning code off of. Now the final task of this playbook runs a build job for our checkbox.io and iTrust projects. And when these builds succeed, they trigger a post-build action to provision and configure 2 more EC2 instances for the checkbox.io and iTrust applications. So now that our playbook has finished execution, we'll navigate over to our Jenkins server. And as you can see here, we've bypassed the setup wizard for Jenkins, and the credentials we're entering here are ones that we've passed as environment variables kind of down the line as we've been provisioning. Next we'll check in on the individual build jobs, and as you can see, it's in the process of provisioning another EC2 instance for each build job. And as we can see in the AWS console, we have 2 new instances, and these also come with 2 new security groups, key pairs, and Elastic IPs. So once the EC2 instances have been provisioned, our Jenkins server actually transitions to acting as an Ansible server, and it runs a playbook on each of the new EC2 instances to set up each project. So now we'll demonstrate that the apps are up and running successfully. Here we've got the IP for the checkbox.io. And everything good there. And we'll check the one for iTrust. And as you can see, both apps are up and running successfully.